The neon lights of the city blurred into streaks of electric blue and gold as the Lamborghini Aventador screamed down the coastal highway. At the wheel sat Cyrus Sterling, a man whose bank account was as cold as his reputation. He drove not to get somewhere, but to outrun the suffocating weight of a billion-dollar merger that felt more like a prison sentence. He slammed on the brakes, the ceramic discs hissing, as a figure appeared in the middle of the road. Standing in the glow of his headlights was a woman who looked like she had stepped out of a dream or a high-fashion heist. She was an elegant blonde, her hair a polished wave of platinum, wearing a silk emerald green slip dress that moved like liquid against her skin. She held a single silver suitcase and didn't look afraid. She looked bored. Cyrus rolled down the window, the engine growling like a caged beast between them. "Are you trying to die, or just looking for a ride?" The stranger walked toward the passenger side, her heels clicking a rhythmic beat on the asphalt. She opened the door and slid in, the scent of expensive iris and rain filling the cabin. "Neither," she said, her voice a low, melodic purr. "I'm looking for someone who drives fast enough to make me forget where I'm going. You look like you're halfway there." Cyrus shifted into gear, his knuckles white on the leather steering wheel. "I don't take passengers. And I definitely don't take strangers who look like they're running from a crime scene." "Then think of me as an investment, Mr. Sterling," she whispered, leaning closer until her lips were inches from his ear. She didn't ask how he knew her name. In this city, everyone knew the man in the black Lambo. "Drive." Before the men in the black SUVs behind us decide to ask for me back. Cyrus glanced at the rear-view mirror. 3 sets of headlights were gaining fast. A slow, dangerous smirk spread across his face. He loved a high-stakes gamble, and the woman sitting next to him was the most beautiful risk he'd ever seen. "Hold on, stranger," he growled, flooring the accelerator. The car lunged forward, pinning them both into the leather seats. As the needle climbed past 180, the girl laughed, a wild, free sound that ignited something in Cyrus he thought he'd sold off years ago. The romance wasn't in the words, it was in the adrenaline, the roar of the V12, and the mysterious woman who had just turned his calculated life into a high-speed chase. The Lamborghini was a black streak of lightning cutting through the mountain passes. The SUVs were gone, lost in the maze of hairpin turns Cyrus had navigated with surgical precision. He finally pulled into a hidden cliffside turnout, the engine ticking as it cooled under the moonlight. Cyrus turned to the woman, his chest heaving. "The chase is over. Now, I want a name and a reason I shouldn't hand you over to the next police patrol." The blonde didn't flinch. She reached up, slowly unpinning her hair and letting the platinum waves fall over her shoulders. "My name is Elena, and the reason you won't hand me over is because those SUVs belong to your biggest rival, Marcus Vane. I have the encryption keys to his entire offshore network in this suitcase." Cyrus went still. This wasn't just a girl. She was a corporate nuclear weapon. "You stole from Vane? He doesn't just sue people, Elena. He buries them." "He was going to bury me anyway," she whispered, her voice losing its playful edge. She leaned across the center console, the emerald silk of her dress shifting to reveal a glimpse of a jagged scar on her shoulder. "I was his finisher. I cleaned up his messes until I became one." The air in the cramped cabin changed. The adrenaline of the chase curdled into something thicker, heavier, a raw, magnetic pull. Cyrus reached out, his thumb tracing the line of her jaw. He was a man who lived for power, but looking at Elena, he realized he'd never felt power like this. "You're a dangerous liability," Cyrus growled, his hand sliding to the back of her neck, pulling her closer. "And you're a man who's bored of being safe," Elena countered, her breath hot against his lips. She didn't wait for him to move. She bridged the gap, her mouth meeting his in a kiss that tasted of expensive gin and desperate survival. It was a collision of 2 lonely titans. Cyrus's hands, usually so controlled, were frantic as they tangled in her hair, pulling her against him over the leather console. In the silence of the mountains, far from the boardrooms and the black cars, the billionaire and the thief found a common language. But as Elena's hand slid into his jacket, Cyrus felt the cold steel of a flash drive she was slipping into his pocket. "Don't fall in love yet, Cyrus," she whispered against his mouth, her eyes gleaming with a mix of passion and warning. "Vane has trackers on the car. We have exactly 10 minutes before this mountain becomes a graveyard." Velocity of Desire. Part 3. The roar of a helicopter overhead drowned out the cooling hiss of the engine. A spotlight swept across the cliffside, bleaching the interior of the Lamborghini in a blinding, artificial white. 10 minutes was an overestimation, Cyrus growled, his hand already slamming the car into gear. "Buckle up, Elena. We're going off-road." "In a $250,000 supercar?" Elena shouted over the thrum of the rotors. "You'll bottom out before the first mile. Then it's a good thing I own the construction company that built this private bypass," Cyrus smirked. He veered the Lamborghini off the asphalt and onto a hidden, reinforced gravel track that cut straight through the heart of the canyon. As they barreled through the darkness, stones kicking up against the carbon fiber body, the helicopter opened fire, not with bullets but with an EMP harpoon. The first shot missed, striking a pine tree that exploded into splinters. "If that hits us, we're sitting ducks," Elena cried, her hands white-knuckled on the dashboard. Cyrus didn't look at the sky. He looked at her. In the strobe-like flashes of the spotlight, she looked like a fallen angel, fierce, beautiful, and utterly alive. "Elena, reach into the glove box. There's a remote with a red toggle. Flip it." She did as she was told. Suddenly, the back of the Lamborghini flared with a blinding magnesium discharge, a military-grade countermeasure. The helicopter pilot, blinded, veered wildly, the harpoon trailing uselessly in the wind. Cyrus skidded the car into the mouth of an abandoned mining tunnel, the heavy steel doors sliding shut behind them just as the helicopter circled back. Silence fell, heavy and absolute. The only light came from the glowing red dials of the dashboard. Elena let out a long, shaky breath and turned to him. The romance of the chase had turned into something deeper. The bond of two people who had just stared death in the face and laughed. "Why?" she whispered, her emerald dress torn at the hem, her platinum hair wild. "You could have pushed me out 2 miles back. You could have had the drive and your life." Cyrus unbuckled his seatbelt and leaned across the space between them. He didn't answer with words. He took her face in his hands, his touch surprisingly gentle for a man who tore down companies for breakfast. "Because for the first time in 10 years, Cyrus said, his voice a low, gravelly vibration, "I'm not looking at a balance sheet. I'm looking at the only thing in this world I can't put a price on." He kissed her then, a slow, possessive, and deep surrender. In the darkness of the tunnel, with the world hunting them above, the billionaire and the stranger stopped being enemies or assets. They became a storm. The tunnel opened directly into the underground hangar of the Vane estate. It was a cathedral of glass and steel, filled with Marcus Vane's private collection of vehicles, but none of them had the scars of the black Lamborghini that now roared into the center of the room. Cyrus stepped out of the car, his tuxedo jacket discarded, his sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms tense with anticipation. Elena followed, the emerald silk of her dress shimmering like a blade in the harsh overhead lights. She carried the silver suitcase, but she also carried the look of a woman who is done running. "Cyrus, Elena, you've made it so easy for me," a cold voice echoed. Marcus Vane stepped from the shadows, flanked by 4 armed guards. "Hand over the drive, and I might let Cyrus live long enough to watch his stocks hit zero." Cyrus didn't flinch. He walked to the front of his car and leaned against the hood, looking every bit the billionaire predator. "I didn't come here to negotiate, Marcus. I came here to close the deal." Elena stepped forward, her heels echoing on the concrete. She opened the suitcase, but instead of stacks of cash or a drive, she pulled out a tablet. "While you were chasing a car through the mountains, Marcus, Cyrus's servers were already uploading your offshore ledgers to the Federal Trade Commission and every major news outlet in the hemisphere." Vane's face went pale. "You wouldn't. That would sink half the market." "I don't care about the market," Cyrus growled, stepping into Vane's personal space, ignoring the guns pointed at his chest. "I care about my partner, and you touched what was mine." The realization hit Vane like a physical blow. The chase wasn't an escape, it was a distraction. While Vane's security was focused on a high-speed pursuit, Cyrus's tech team had dismantled Vane's empire from the inside out. The sirens of the federal authorities began to wail in the distance, echoing down the long driveway. Vane's guards, sensing the shift in power, slowly lowered their weapons and retreated into the shadows. Cyrus turned to Elena. The romance of the night had reached its peak. Under the flickering lights of the crumbling empire, he pulled her into his arms. The kiss was no longer desperate. It was a victory lap. It was the heat of two people who had gambled everything on a stranger and won the world. "The Lamborghini is totaled," Cyrus whispered against her lips, his hands possessively gripping her waist. "And Vane's company is a ghost. What do we do now?" Elena smiled, a brilliant, dangerous spark in her eyes. She took his hand and led him toward the back of the hangar, where a private jet stood fueled and ready. "We go fast, Cyrus," she said. "And this time, we don't look back." As the authorities swarmed the estate, a single jet tore into the night sky. The billionaire and the stranger had disappeared, leaving behind a trail of neon, smoke, and a love that couldn't be bought. The city belongs to the ghosts now. Cyrus and Elena have rewritten the rules of the game. Are you ready for their next high-stakes heist? Fire the Velocity of Desire saga is complete. If you loved this high-octane finale, smash that like button. Bell subscribe and turn on all notifications for our next series, The Diamond Heist. Speech balloon comment legendary if they are the ultimate power couple, or winner if you loved the twist.